ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors on a Friday, heading into conference play for East Carolina baseball. UAB in town. We'll discuss that a whole lot more. March Madness rolls on. That continues throughout the weekend. Really solid opening day of the Field of 64. High Point with a big upset victory over Wisconsin. Also VCU taking down Carolina. And Siena almost pulled the massive upset. No disrespect to Philip Hilkin, who we'll bring in a minute. Just wanted to see his reaction to that, but they did find a way to win. The Duke Blue Devils did. So let's introduce today's cast. We'll go around the horn, packed show. In studio today, we have Jonathan Wagner, who is taking the placement of Bobby Harvard. More on that in a minute. Bobby will join us at his home. If you're watching our feed, you see him already, but Jonathan Wagner in studio, member of the Bucks on the Pond podcast, and he is rolling deep in Mustache March. Wags, it's even more beautiful in person than it is over the video. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. It's the first time I've really committed to Mustache March, and I was a little worried how it would play out, but I've really committed by shaving everything else and going mustache only. I think that's the best way to go. But yeah, the weather's nice. It's a good weekend, and it's an important weekend for ECU. So I'm fired up to be here, and I'm excited to see what the team does this weekend too.
Bobby Harvard is at home, and Bobby was going to make it in. We were going to be at that desk over there, and instead his keys are no longer with him. Bobby, what happened, man?
Yeah, there was a little miscommunication with the bride of mine in terms of the keys. So she unfortunately has my keys at work. Time she'd make it back. She offered to drive back, but it would have been too late to be able to make it in the studio. So A+ on the crew for the in-game adjustments. Y'all did fantastic because this was very last minute as I was about to head into the studio. I am a little worried about getting berated by Philip for the quality of my microphone, but I'll have to live with that. I'll have to take that butt chewing.
I think thus far it sounds pretty solid. I don't know.
It's better than normal is, yeah.
Yeah, so good showing from the mic thus far. Knock on wood. Hopefully that continues. Philip Hilkington, he's back behind the glass. Now, I did, for the record, Philip, I texted you at approximately, 3:50 p.m. I said, Philip, how are you feeling? Now, you never responded. So I'll ask you again, how are you feeling? At that time, Duke was losing at halftime by 11 to Siena.
Yeah, that was one of those, your mama tells you if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And so you didn't get a derogatory emoji or something.
That's fair.
I was not doing good. There were I was texting back and forth with T-Bone from Charlotte, on WFNZ there, and I was like, man, I'm not even Catholic, but I need to go to confession after that first half and some of the stuff I said. Now, I had to drive back over to work and watch the second half in the work lobby while running in here and prepping for Patrick's show during TV timeouts. So due to me being in a work environment, the vulgar language definitely went down. I still yelled a couple times at the TV. Luckily, there was not that many people here, but I did keep it at least PG-13, and probably anything that I said probably can actually be repeated on the radio. However, had we lost, it would have been a tough way to do Patrick's show yesterday, trying to do 60 minutes of content immediately following that.
Let's continue with the March Madness talk. I almost feel like, and we can continue with the Duke angle here, guys, obviously if Duke would have lost, it would have been a disaster, but is it a blessing in disguise? I feel like kind of when you get woken up early in the tournament, we've seen historically these types of games almost wake the sleeping giant up. Obviously, we know Duke is a giant, but you kind of go in expecting to roll, and maybe this Wags gets them going early, and maybe they don't look back. Of course, maybe if these same flaws continue, they won't be able to recover from it. But I kind of like surviving and advancing and then figuring it out from there.
Yeah, if there's a time to do it, it's now against a 16 seed, I think, to kind of figure it out on the fly. But I think the thing that, maybe it concerns me more than others, but, you come at halftime and you have players talking to the media for TV, and they're saying we thought it was going to be a cakewalk. And it's one thing, like you said, yeah, it wakes them up a little bit, it gets them rolling, but at the same time, it's like, man, is our mindset really like that already when it's do or die, it's go win or go home? So that could be concerning, but either way, it was a good day of basketball. All the 1 seeds, it felt like that played yesterday, at least for a little bit. It was like, man, this might be a game. And obviously Michigan pulled away last night, but still, it was a good day of basketball. Lots of close games, at least in the early windows. The late window kind of sucked, which I was up for.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're Duke, I think it's better to struggle and work the kinks out on the fly in the first round against a 16 seed that you're so much more talented than. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out for them, though.
What about you, Phil? How do you feel about that angle?
I think they learned how to play from behind, something they had not done all year. They've blown leads in both their 2 wins, and they haven't really had to or both their 2 losses, and haven't really had to come from behind either. However, they looked very panicked. They played very immature brand of basketball when they got behind. Credit to Siena for putting the pressure on them, but Duke's got to learn not to panic, because if they panic against another team, they're going to lose. They're lucky that 3-2 zone worked. They didn't deserve to win the game, so I think overall it is good. Speaking of 16 seeds, because of the Siena-Duke scare, I'm not trying to take anything away from Siena. Nobody is talking about the job that Howard did. Yes, they didn't play great defense. Yes, let up 100 and whatever points, but Howard was not intimidated at all yesterday evening, and it was just one of those things where Michigan couldn't miss. So, they didn't, like Wag said, there was a scare for a while, but it didn't last as long. But Howard came to play yesterday, baby.
Philip's already trying to deflect. And
no, I'm just saying. I just want to give credit to credit where credit's due.
How's your bracket looking, Bobby?
It is struggling a little bit. I'm what am I, 10-6, I think. Is that right? There were 16 games yesterday, so I'm 10-6 in my bracket. Some that I thought I switched to an upset, I did not. In my head, I thought I made the switch, but I guess I didn't make it official. But I was I took South Florida. Sorry, I'm reading something because Philip mentioned Howard, and Howard's a Duke guy. The head coach there is a Duke guy, Kenny Blankney. So I don't know if you remember, they played in that Blue Devil Classic up in Durham. But anyways, I picked South Florida thinking, Louisville was down their freshman score. They came back a little too late, so I blew that one. And I thought I switched from BYU to Texas. I didn't quite make the switch, and that got me as well.
I have 11, so I guess it makes me 11-5 for my CBS brackets, and I did get High Point, and I did get VCU. I missed badly on Troy. I thought Nebraska's lack of a tournament win would come up to bite them, but they jumped out to such a good start and rolled from there. And how about you, Wags? How you doing thus far?
Yeah, so usually I'm the guy who goes on ESPN and I fill out all 25 brackets you can. I do some fun ones. I do like a baseball version.
Oh, you're the 25 bracket guy?
Yeah, usually. But this year I didn't have the desire.
Okay, good.
And so I did like 3 on ESPN. I did the Hoist the Colors pool, but then I have my main bracket pool with people from back home where we've got like 100+ people in it, and it's $5 to enter, and you just go in, and you can do one bracket, you can do 2 brackets, and that one's usually my main one. And I went into last night perfect for a while. I did not have Texas over BYU, and I did not have which one was it?
Did you have Texas A&M over St. Mary's?
Yes, I did. I didn't. I had UNC winning against VCU, so I only missed those 2. So, of course, but so I'm feeling pretty good about that bracket.
Has anyone made a comment to the chat about how Wags is doing after the UNC loss? Has that happened yet?
I'd be surprised if it hasn't.
There is no Wags UNC hate in the chat. Now, there are UNC comments specifically about the UNC fans losing their ever-loving minds. Brings me an immense amount of joy. That's from our buddy Jansen Kidd. And Jansen Kidd says, I think if UNC fires Hubert Davis, they should bring in Greg Popovich to stay on brand. That's a pretty good comment. Gotta say,
that is awesome.
What do y'all think? Does Hubert survive this? That was a pretty epic choke last night, man. That was not even being able to inbound the ball, missing free throws, turn it over. It was bad.
I'll say, and again, I'm not a UNC fan. I grew up watching ECU basketball or UNC basketball. It's a bit, yeah. But like once I got to ECU, I was in on there, and then I don't care about college basketball that much anymore. But to me, it's you can either get rid of him now and get some hope going into a new season. You're going to have a brand new team. Or you can do what some schools do and stand pat and signal to the fan base that you don't care. And can you do that? I don't know if you can afford to do that. So if you're Carolina. So I think if it was up to me and I was making a decision for them, I'd say I think you have to cut ties because it is an all-time just don't care and over it level over there at Carolina.
What do you think, Philip? Do you think, as a Duke fan, I'm sure you want Hubert to come back.
Yeah, I want him back. Bring him back. Come on, run this back. Run this mediocrity back. But no, I think if I'm a Carolina fan or if I'm Carolina upper administration, I'm agreeing with Isaiah, who's over here saying that we should fire him. Yeah, you got to fire him. Look, this is just, I mean, the highlight of his career is retiring Coach K, which, I mean, credit, that is the greatest moment in the history of Carolina basketball, and neutrally maybe the greatest moment in the history of college basketball because you had the greatest rivalry and kind of become a rivalry no more because Carolina just won the rivalry and won the war. But you can't live your whole career based off a highlight. That's like saying, man, we're going to hang on to David Tyree for the next 10 years because of the helmet catch, right? Like, that's the only thing it's comparable to. They didn't hang on to him for 10 years. He was a mediocre receiver. You can't hang on to a mediocre coach because he had the biggest, most important win in the history of college basketball.
All right, I'm going to put you all on the spot here. We'll go around the horn. I want you to give me your biggest dud performance of opening day of March Madness and your biggest stud performance. You can go team or player, whoever you want to go with. I'll start to give y'all time. For me, the biggest dud, and I know they made a game of it late, was USF. Like, they looked like they had never played basketball in the first half, and I had them. Louisville tried to give it away, but USF just looked, I mean, they were missing layups, missing open shots. The American, I said it last night in the group text, I will never, ever put money on this conference again in the NCAA tournament. I'm done, and I'm 100% going to do it next year because I'm an idiot. But I'm saying it right now. Philip, I want you to hold me to that.
All right.
Even when Memphis or whoever makes a run next year, just remind me.
Who?
I don't know. Probably not them. Whatever other mediocre team from the American emerges. My biggest stud, it's got to be VCU, just the sheer heart. Obviously, UNC gave it away, but Terrence Hill Jr., 40 minutes, 34 points, 7 of 10 from three-point range, including the dagger late. VCU in March, they just always have some magic, and I was happy to see them get the W. So who wants to go next?
Isaiah wants to go next. I'll let him go.
Yeah, let's hear it, Isaiah. Intern Isaiah hanging out. One of our best reporters from ECU football practice as well. I'm going to have to get an update later. But Isaiah, what you got?
Personally, I believe that I think Wisconsin that was the worst loss I think I've seen. I mean, how do you lose to it? How do you lose to High Point? Like, are we serious? And to me, that's going to be my stud as well. Just because, like, no one knew High Point was going to come and play. No one knew that they were going to come and win. Now, granted, they have 30 wins, but they haven't played anybody. And then they come in and they beat Wisconsin. To me, that shows that they're ready to play. And then the interview with the coach, I mean, I almost suited up for a High Point yesterday after I seen that interview. So to me,
they was fired up.
Yeah, I'm telling you. They said Charles Barkley's 40, and he's talking about coming out of retirement.
I did like that guy. Like, even before the interview, watching his animations on the sideline, he was jacked, and I'm like, this is the energy I need. Wags, what about you?
Yeah, I think my biggest dud, has to be Georgia. I mean, you just got manhandled by St. Louis. No disrespect to St. Louis, but
the
Georgia,
Billikens, baby.
I mean, it's they show up every year. Robbie Avila, they're legit in March. But if you're Georgia, you can't be down, by 30 points, and when it's like 60-30 or something like that. I mean, not to say this, but you're an SEC team. Like you have the resources, but it's just Mike White. And not to be confused with the survivor Mike White, but Mike White, the Georgia head coach, like, I mean, come on, man. That fan base, same thing. It's got to be kind of turning on him because that's an ugly loss. And my biggest stud, I'm actually going to go with High Point as well. And They were a popular upset pick, I feel like, coming in, but Wisconsin was also a team, when they got out of the Big Ten tournament, everyone was kind of saying, like, that's going to be a tough out in March. So I wasn't in on the High Point. I had them in a couple brackets. I had them on my main bracket, but Wisconsin I thought was capable of winning that game and then beating Arkansas next game as well. So Wisconsin I thought was good and had a chance to go on a run. So High Point, they showed up and they won a tight game, and I think they showed that they're going to be a problem for Arkansas next game as well.
Bobby?
Yeah, this guy picked High Point. I had him at plus 460 odds to replenish the FanDuel account, so that was a nice W there. But I'll go my stud, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I was shocked. They came ready to play, got their first tournament win, and they handled Troy pretty easily. And I think I had Troy at least covering, which screwed up one of my bets. And then dud, you have to go to the Tar Heels, right? They blew the largest lead in NCAA tournament history. So give me the Heels as the dud.
All right. I hope nobody in my family in Colorado is listening, because I'm going to agree with Bobby. I'm going to go with those stupid corn people. Congratulations on your first tournament win.
Did y'all see where John Rothstein has to buy, I think, a whole round of drinks for everybody in Nebraska or something like that? He promised it if they ever won an NCAA tournament game.
National treasure, by the way.
Yeah, stupid corn people.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. And my dud, even though they won the game, you shouldn't have won the game. What the hell are you doing, Duke? Or maybe I'm the dud because I crapped on them all year, and after last Saturday night, I finally came out and complimented them, and then they proved all the doubting, all the crap talking I'd given them all year correct about everything that's wrong with that team. So, yeah, my dud's Duke.
Shout out Chase Johnston from High Point, by the way. 68 made shots on the year, all of them from three-point range. Go ahead, layup. The first 2-point field goal of the season. How crazy is that?
He was 0 for 4.
That's just ridiculous, man. Awesome story. You just can't make it up sometimes. March Madness. I'm glad we're already getting some upsets, because last year was too chalky. And not that High Point and VCU are massive upsets, but at least it shows the little guys can still, hang with the big boys, even if High Point's spending a lot more money than people realize on NIL. All right, we got to get a break in. We come back. We'll talk ECU baseball. UAB is in town. We'll tell you about the Blazers and why this is a tough opening series to begin conference play for the Pirates.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville patio and hearth shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agent.
Pirates play here.
Time to play the game!
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Segment 2 here, Hoist the Colors. We've got Bobby Harward hanging out. We've got Jonathan Wagner in studio. We've got Philip Pilkington behind the glass, and we have ECU practice insider Isaiah hanging out behind the glass as well. He gave his take earlier. We may talk some spring football before we get out of here. ECU just officially announced a bunch of coaching hire promotions, so remind me of that before we get out of here. Also remind me, guys, Hunter Corbett with a good question. Is there etiquette on texting your friend/family when their team is playing and it's not going well? So we'll address that before the show is over. Let's talk Pirate baseball. UAB in town. The Blazers, they are 13-8. ECU is 13-8-1. 6 o'clock first pitch tonight, 4 o'clock on Saturday, and 12:30 the scheduled start on Sunday. So I wrote up this preview last night. UAB is an extremely offensive club. They hit the ball at the ballpark. They hit for a pretty solid average as a team. They have like almost twice as many home runs as doubles, so I guess they're just trying to drop bombs. John Paul Head has 12 home runs, which is tied for 5th nationally, and he has an OPS of 1.322. Didn't even know that was possible. Now, he did not play against Alabama A&M on Tuesday, so I'm keeping an eye to see if he's in the lineup tonight. They've got other guys hitting above 300. There is, however, a major drop-off. Their pitching staff is a team staff ERA of 6.90 and a 1.75 whip. Opponents are hitting 315 against them. They only have one starter set for the weekend, Mason Still, against Ethan Norby tonight. And then ECU's got Gavin Van Kempen against TBA. And then Sunday is TBA. Very early, guys, but I am hearing that maybe, this is not 100% confirmed, but just what I'm hearing, Colby Weber's injury may not be as serious as we initially thought. I do expect him to miss some time, but that's just the initial word I'm getting. So we'll kind of go around the horn here. Thoughts on the series. We'll start with Wags. He's in town to cover it. What is this, your third game?
This is number 4. Opening day, Carolina, Rutgers.
What was the over-under again?
5.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to blow past it. You guys aren't ready.
He's doing it.
But yeah, I feel oddly pretty good given how last week ended. You lost on Saturday, got shut out by Penn, and then you won a game that you probably shouldn't have on Sunday. So coming into the week, for me, it was usually when this team feels like they're going to enter a week and disappoint, and it feels like things are going in the right direction, everyone starts writing them off like Cliff Loves, then the weather warms up, and these feel like the type of weeks that ECU just wakes up and proves everyone wrong. So in my brain, do I necessarily think that they're going to sweep this weekend? No. But like you did on Monday night in the Bucks on the Pond podcast, I also predicted a 4-0 week. And it's just one of those things. It's just injuries are piling up, and it just feels like people are starting to doubt. I'm starting to doubt, and there's a lot of concerns, and that seems to be when they step up and take it to another level. So I think you're going to see some guys who maybe haven't stepped up and won games for ECU yet this season do it this weekend. And I just feel pretty good, but it comes down to the offense showing up all 3 days this weekend, and that's the biggest question because even against a bad pitching staff, I just don't know if I trust it yet to show up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Bobby, we'll go to you. Your thoughts on this weekend series?
Yeah, I think what Wags 100% in the sense that, when this team is doubted, that tends to be when they show up and overachieve. And, this weekend has a feel to it, but I'm also one that has to see it to believe it. And this series concerns me. This series really concerns me because Norby has not been consistent yet with your Friday night arm, and the bats have been too inconsistent, in my opinion, to out-hit UAB. I'm actually going to predict they drop this series, unfortunately. I'm going to go that far, and maybe I'm being too pessimistic because I'm down on the Pirates right now, but last weekend didn't leave a good taste in my mouth. Like, obviously was ecstatic after, the late inning Sunday win or walk-off Sunday win, but still, that series should not have been what it was.
Hey, somebody's got to provide the bulletin board material, Bobby, and you're just the one this week, so good job.
I think Saturday. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think Saturday, Cliff Godwin opens his press conference with, keep doubting us, because they're going to be 2-0 on the weekend.
Keep doubting us, Bobby. He's gonna name drop you.
I hope he does.
Usually
This
it's
is
me.
for you,
I'm glad
Cliff.
it's someone else.
Yeah. All right, Philip, your thoughts.
Look, I think we're not going to waste another GVK good start, and I think Ethan is going to pitch like Ethan Norby. And then I think we're going to piece together Sunday and lose. So I'm going 2-1.
So does anybody, not that this means anything necessarily, but does anyone want to guess the year UAB last won a game in Greenville in baseball?
I'll sit out because you already told me the answer.
Isaiah guessed 03. I actually was going to guess around that same time, early 2000s. What do you got, Bobby?
I'm going to go 0-1.
May 10th, 2003. They have won one game. They're 1-17 all time in Greenville. So Pirates historically, now UAB's program has improved, and it used to not be very good in Conference USA, but hard to believe it's been 23 years since the Blazers won a game in Greenville. So yeah, it's just a matter of, for me, can you keep them in the ballpark? And ECU at some point has got to take advantage of this wind if it's gailing out to right field, but UAB seems to be the type of team that could take advantage of that. We know how much, like Wags, honestly, the first thing I do now is I look at the wind and I look at the right field American flag, and if it's blowing out, I'm like, this could be a long day for the Pirates. And if it's blowing in like it was at times on Tuesday, I think it's a good thing because of that time. Like right now, ECU just doesn't have the team that's going to hit a bunch of fly balls to the warning track.
Yeah, I mean, just look back at last weekend. From Friday through Sunday, I think it was and I wasn't here last weekend, but I remember it being a pretty windy weekend where pretty much, not Saturday because there were only 2 runs scored, but Friday and Sunday, they were both teams had a couple balls that were like, man, how did that get out of here? And that's just Clark Leclerc Stadium. So, yeah, it'd be nice to take advantage of it, but, who knows what we'll see out of Jack Herring, with his injury. Hopefully he can DH, but, if not, then the question is, do you have enough power to take advantage of it? And in a weekend, like you said, against a team that clearly can hit the ball out, can you have enough to match it? And your pitching is legit, but Sunday's a question. The bullpen's a question potentially depending on how you play Sunday in the rotation. So it's just a matter of can you match them? So hopefully the wind plays into our favor.
Obviously, you don't want to rush a player back from injury, but I do have to say I hope Jack Herring's back sooner than later because as I was writing in ECU's lineup on Tuesday, I'm like, this is not great. And then I felt, but if you insert Herring in there, it feels a lot better. So I just hope he's back by the end of the weekend, at least in some capacity, which Cliff said it sounds like he will be. Let's go around the horn. Pick to click. You can go one player, pitcher, or hitter on the weekend. I'll start it off. I'm going to keep the Carlos Hakame train rolling. I think he didn't hit the ball squarely exactly on his 2 doubles on Tuesday, but he seems to be on the baseball god's good side right now. He's also, he's only struck out 1 time this season. He's consistently putting the ball in play. I like his approach, and I think with more consistent ABs, he's going to continue to hit the ball better. Plus UAB in the zone a lot. I think he's going to get a lot of at-bats and do some damage this weekend. Wags?
Yeah, I'm going to double down on my Bucks on the Pond prediction from Monday night and say Ethan Norby. I think that eventually he's going to figure it out. And even if you look at the stats, his ERA is in the 4s. So when we talk all this stuff about how Norby has struggled this season, it maybe hasn't been as bad as we sometimes make it out to be, but it's still not been Ethan Norby. But I think now that it really matters, American play is underway, Norby's going to come out and he's going to throw 7 innings tonight, and he's going to get the win for ECU and shut down an offense that's good. And that's going to be kind of him setting the tone for the rest of his season and silencing the doubt on whether or not he should stick in that Friday night role. So give me Ethan Norby, big bounce back coming tonight.
Bob?
I'm going to go Matt Lashley. I think he's going to have a big day in the field. He's had errors the last 3 games. So if he gets the nod here at shortstop, give me Lashley needing to step up in the field and also coming up with a huge bunt. We like to play cliff ball.
Yeah, was he 0 for 2 on the season? So he's due for a good one. Or does it? No, it's Linehan that's 0 for 2.
Yeah, Linehan is the one that struggled.
Yeah. Hey, you can't put a streak of home runs together if you don't hit your first. Colby Wallace hit his first the other night. Give me Colby.
Solid picks all around. If those 4 gentlemen play well, the Pirates will be in good shape this weekend. Looks like it should be a fun weekend inside Clark LeClaire Stadium, and we'll have you covered. Hoist the Colors 94.3 The Game as well on all 3 games. Again, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 12:30 Sunday. We'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll continue on after this.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Get ready to board.
We're live with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game. Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome back to the show. Hoist the Colors on a Friday. We're having some fun here. We got Jonathan Wagner in studio. Bobby Howard also with us today, brought to you by Basil's. Check them out, 1675 East Fire Tower Road over by the AMC Movie Theater. Great pasta, pizza, sandwiches, and more. Appreciate their support of the program. Philip Pilkington producing, providing his insights, still trying to figure out how Duke almost lost to Siena, and intern Isaiah hanging out as well. Packed house, ECU UAB tonight. We had a question earlier. We'll do this before we get to Wags' top 3 sports theme songs. Hunter wants to know, is there etiquette on texting your friend's family when their team is playing and it's not going well? And we can all give a take here. This came from me, I guess, texting Philip, how are you feeling? Now, I will say I did wait till halftime. I wasn't like, oh, what a 3 by Siena there. Oh, man, they didn't get the loose ball. Like, if it's like a clear break in the action, like just a quick little jab, like I'm fine with that. But if you're one of those dudes just like every play, I'm not a fan, and like in general, I'm not a fan because I do not disturb my phone when I am on Broncos watch or Mariners playoff watch. So I don't know, Phil. Did that? How many texts did you receive, and did that rub you the wrong way?
Honestly, I don't even remember seeing yours. Did you send it in a group chat?
It was the group chat.
That's the thing. I had it on mute, so I had all the group chats on mute. I received one directly. I say it's etiquette to do it. It's okay etiquette to do it if you're okay being blocked and being, getting your nose broke next time you run into the guy. That's what I say. So, yeah, I was with the other person who I did see it, who's a common friend of mine and Lane Smith's. It was that thing that your mom tells you when you're a kid. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I just didn't respond. But if I would have seen it and I would have responded, you probably would have gotten an emoji that would be like read between the lines of this.
Bobby, how do you feel about this? Is anybody texting you during Commanders games that just ticks you off?
Yeah, I do what you do. I try to not pay attention much to my phone, especially if it's an intense game, because I know I'll get ticked off. I try to wait until the end of the game. Like I texted after the game once Duke had secured it, and same with my dad, who's obviously a diehard Duke fan. But I try to wait, with the exception being the almost injury to Julio Rodriguez the other night in the World Baseball Classic. I had to get your on the spot take for that.
And that one is just like one of those things. It's not as much like you're not trying to rub salt in the wound. You're just like, dang, like that.
Yeah,
sucks.
That's a little more I feel for you.
Yeah.
Isaiah asked Bobby if he's ready to get the text this year when the Cowboys sweep the Commanders.
I'm ready to get my case of beer from Isaiah is what I'm ready for.
There you go.
Wags, how do you feel? Especially when you're a big Caniac, I feel like even more than anything. So are you on Do Not Disturb when the Canes are playing?
Oh, yeah, Do Not Disturb, and I only allow text messages to come through on Do Not Disturb if you are my family. So, I go, Philip, you guys are both, if you text me during the game, I'll see it the next time I look. But, yeah, it's Do Not Disturb. The phone is down, facing down, usually on the other side of the couch from me during playoff games. Regular season, still Do Not Disturb because I hate getting spoiled. But maybe my friend group is just, a little, and Philip knows this too, maybe they're a little toxic, but especially in the Canes playoff series, I know the Canes have a lot of fair weather fans that weren't fans when it was bad, and I was, and I know they like to make fun of that. But, man, when I'm in a playoff series and getting swept by the Panthers almost for the second time in 3 years in the Eastern Conference Final, and I look on my phone and I see, Wags, what happened? Oh, no, here we go again. It genuinely makes me not like you anymore.
It's because our friends are idiots. We need better friends. That's the problem.
Yes.
Our friends are morons.
I consider leaving that chat every single NHL playoff, and we're almost there, so it's about time to start mentally preparing myself to, do I want to be friends with these people right now? And, maybe I set myself up for disappointment and just let it happen again. But
I will say, I'm good about texting Wags during Canes games. I will do it very, very seldomly. And if I do, I'm always just like, hey, do you think they should move this guy to this line? Or I want legit, you know more about the team than I do.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times I'll send you an intermission text, but I'm legit wanting your opinion on what you think Brenda Moore should do.
I'm all for that. Ask me questions, talk about the game, sure. But intentionally make fun, knowing it's going to piss me off, I'm done with you.
And at least you do have intermission with hockey, so it's not like, you're just texting through the entire action. Although if you're texting mid-period, that's one thing because there's not a lot of stoppage times in the midst of the period. All right, few minutes here. We did our top sports theme songs with March Madness on CBS, like that theme song at the top of everybody's list. Apparently, except Wags, because it's not in his top 3. So you have your list ready to go. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. So for me, my 1-1, and me and Phil were talking about this pre-show a little bit, but when I think, iconic sports, theme, intro songs, my mind goes to NHL on NBC. I'm a big hockey guy, and so you hear it here. And it's not just that, but it's back in the Doc Emmerich days where you go from that, you lead into Doc Emmerich, leading into the show. You usually have an overhead shot of the city on the NBC broadcast. It was just so well done. And, old NHL video games, they had that stretch of a few years where that was in there too. It was just so cool. I'm a big hockey guy, so that's my 1-1. Makes me nostalgic. I miss the NBC days. ESPN is not great for hockey, although ESPN Plus is great. My 2 is the Masters, and it's
I can just see Wags vibing out.
It's a completely different vibe, but I put it here just because I feel like it fits the vibe of the Masters more so than any other song for any other sport in the history of theme songs does. It's just, you hear that song, you're like, oh, it's going to be a good weekend. It's the Masters. So, and I'm not a huge golf guy, but I am enough of a golf fan to where I'm watching all the big stuff, and I do follow it. And then my third
I would want to say one thing about the Masters, and you said that it kind of encompasses the Masters. I want to remind people that in the last, something like 15 minutes of the broadcast last year, Jim Nantz said 36 words. He just let the golf speak for itself. So I'm with you there, Wags. I like how you brought that up.
I think more sports should do that too. I like just hearing especially, hockey, baseball. I like hearing the sounds of the game. So more announcers should, I think, start doing that. But my third and final, I went MLB on Fox, and it's more of a postseason thing. It's just, man, that fires me up. It gets me ready for postseason baseball. Not that I'm going to watch the Nats anytime soon or have since 2019, but in 2019, man, that was a heck of a time. So
Isaiah's giving you a thumbs up for the postseason baseball, and then the shout out to he's a Nats fan too. So
solid list, but could have been better. Bobby, I know you didn't listen to yesterday's show. Anything you want to add off the top of the dome here that comes to mind for you as a sports guy?
Yes, I'm going to go straight to the nostalgia feels. Number 1 for me would be the 3:30 SEC matchup on CBS. To me, that is always especially growing up in Alabama when it was like prime middle school when you're really getting into college football and stuff, and in the middle of college football SEC country, that was always huge for us. Number 2, probably this is nostalgic, but I was never a huge NBA guy, but hearing it back now makes me love it because I remember it more from the video games, and that's the NBC NBA theme song. That's going to be number 2 for me. And then number 3, Baseball Tonight. Every night I would fall asleep watching Baseball Tonight. So Baseball Tonight was like my all-time favorite show.
Solid list. I had NBC Round Rock as my, I think, number 3. Because, I wasn't a huge NBA guy at that time, but that's just a banger of a song in general. Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge fan of that. Baseball Tonight, same deal. I will say, I said this yesterday, but MLB postseason baseball on TBS is an underrated theme song. I listened to that yesterday. I'm like, you know what? This is quietly a banger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to go wrong unless you're the new college football theme. I don't love.
I do love the Baseball Tonight mention from Bobby. I also I watch Baseball Tonight every night before bed. Big baseball fan, so that's a great one. I'm kind of mad that I didn't think about it myself.
So Philip had NFL Primetime on his list, and I went back last night and listened to 10 of the NFL Primetime songs in their entirety, and it's just, it's the best, man. It just gives me so many memories in my head of just hearing Chris Berman call Cardinals 49ers highlights from the mid 2000s, just random, Jake the Snake Plumber, Jeff Garcia, NFC West rivalry when both those teams were mid. There's just nothing beats it. So
to say you're a sports nerd without saying you're a sports nerd, we're sitting here admitting all 4 of us that we're just going around listening to nostalgic sports music.
If you're a real one, you know what we're talking about. If you don't know what we're talking about, then the show's probably not for you.
Just wait until SportsCenter on Monday mornings after an NFL Sunday, and you're going through the highlights, and you just get the whoop.
Yep.
Iconic.
There's nothing like it, man. Jansen Kidd says he loves the old NHL songs, but it gives him PTSD for the awful Canes years, 2010 through 18. So
that's fair. I can't argue that. So
the NHL on NBC, do they use that during the Olympics though? At least so.
Yeah, I guess they did.
Yeah,
I think they did. But dude, when you don't have Doc's voice coming, his intros, and then even to the games were the best. But even when he would go to break during a playoff game, just the way he would announce the score was like, he'd be like, the way he would announce the series and then the score's the same or something. I don't know, man. His voice, oh my goodness. Like, him and Vince Scully, like, will never be touched.
All right, let's get our final break in. We'll come back, some ECU football news, and we may hit on some MLB. We're less than a week away from MLB opening day, which is hard to believe. So we'll do that to round out the show after this.
Get ready to bring on the savings at Greenville Toyota with major deals on brand new Toyotas like a Camry, $229 a month, or RAV4, $279 a month. Now's your turn to save at Greenville Toyota.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Your future is full of possibilities, and Pitt Community College can help you explore every option. You can earn a degree, learn a trade, transfer to a university, or launch a new career. We offer the support you need to succeed with flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and programs designed for the real world. Your path, your future, your college. Pitt Community College. Register now.
Bring on the savings with new Toyotas from $159 a month at Greenville Toyota. Get huge discounts like Corollas $159 a month or Tacomas $249 a month. Save today at Greenville Toyota.
Loyal and bold, we're the purple and golds.
Yo ho ho!
And we're back to hoist the colors with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment here. Hoist the colors. A few news and notes before we get out of here. We have Jonathan Widener hanging out, Philip Pilkington, Bobby Harwood joining us virtually as well. Intern Isaiah, too. He was at a football practice, as was I this morning. Lots warmer. I mean, it wasn't warm, but it was warmer than it was Wednesday. Still, we'll have our first media availability with Blake Carroll, I believe, Monday following practice, so stay tuned for that. We do have a practice report up online, hoistthecolors.net. We have some news and notes I'll share quickly. A lot of new hiring promotions all announced at once. So Lance Ware goes from Director of Player Personnel to Chief of Staff. ECU has officially hired Devontae Love Taylor from Miami as the Director of Player Personnel and GM. Brian Rucker has been brought in as the Director of Player Development. Caden Malone, Senior Offensive Analyst working with the quarterbacks. John Stranero, Senior Defensive Analyst, comes on board. Aiden Ressa, Offensive Graduate Assistant Coach, hired. Tegan Wilk, hired as Defensive GA and Recruiting. And I saw Tegan out there this morning, and he's on the recruiting trail now. So good to still have him in the program. And then Taryn Smith brought on or promoted to Director of On-Campus Recruiting. So there's your hiring news there from Blake Carroll, ECU Football. We'll have more on that next week on the football front. Check out hoistthecolors.net for more. All right, guys, opening day is not that far away. We got Yankees-Giants Wednesday. Max Fried versus Logan Webb. Can anybody tell me what network opening night is on?
So stupid.
Netflix.
Yep.
So
What?
stupid.
Netflix.
Whoever made that should be fired. You cannot. There's only one game that day.
Yep.
And they're putting it on a streaming service.
Opening night on
I
Netflix,
mean,
baby.
man fraud and whatever bozo he hired that made that decision ought to be fired. And then they ought to be sent to the Capitol building steps in their underwear and tarred and feathered. I mean, can we say that R word anymore? Because that's what they are. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's what they are. I mean, this is stupid.
It's going to be awesome when it crashes because Netflix
It is
can
100%
handle that
going to crash.
Number of people.
All right, so I don't even know. Like, obviously, I get MLB TV to watch the Mariners. I can't watch them locally, so that's all I really care about. But I'm looking out Thursday, like the real opening day, and we have broadcast on NBC/Peacock. We go to Friday, we have Apple TV, multiple broadcasts on that, including great Guardians, Mariners. Can't wait for that. You do have Fox on Saturday. So you've got four different, you got Netflix, then NBC, then Apple TV, and then Fox. So, like, I guess we're just going to be looking at different channels every day. I guess MLB has to maximize revenue, and this is where they're getting the most money, but it's just, I don't know.
But opening night, like,
yeah.
And here's my issue with the Netflix thing. Netflix is not one of those. I don't mind paying for a streaming service that has a bunch of different things. Like, at least, like, for example, like when Peacock, you had the Olympic stuff, you had the Premier League package, you had all the wrestling pay-per-views. So, like, you have, like, a reason, like, oh, if you get Peacock, like, it's an actual, there are multiple sports things on it. The wrestling thing isn't on there anymore. But, like, and then there were some golf incentives with Peacock. What you can't just put something on a random streaming service for the sake of putting it on there. Like, that's dumb. It's a monopoly. We fought against this. There are antitrust laws against this. Man fraud ought to be boiled in his own soup.
It says the Netflix partnership includes the Home Run Derby, which I know you're excited about, and also the Field of Dreams game. And ESPN has a partnership to continue a new 30-game midweek package. And you've got the Sunday Night Baseball package now with NBC and Peacock. And then you got all the mess with, like, the local broadcasting. Right? Like, MLB TV setup right now is an absolute mess. Anyways, all right. Orioles, they open with the Twins, Bobby. Are you excited for some O's baseball?
Dude, I am pumped for O's baseball. I'm a little upset, though. I had my calendar for work blocked for Thursday afternoon since it's a 3 o'clock first pitch. Well, you guys know this. I'm switching groups internally within my company. And so my manager wanted to schedule a 4 o'clock meeting to kind of like celebrate my last day in their group. And she said, can we schedule it for this time? And I didn't have a good reason to say, my calendar's blocked for baseball. So I cannot meet with you. But I am excited for the season. I'm still concerned if the O's did enough in terms of the bullpen and the starting rotation, but I am confident that the bats will bounce back. So I'm looking forward to see Gunnar Henderson build upon his World Baseball Classic.
Phillips Red Sox, they open with an intriguing series at the Cincinnati Reds. I feel like this could be one of the better series of opening weekend. How you feeling about your Bo Sox this year?
Feel good. Pitching rotation's deep. Hitters are solid. It's going to matter how good the bullpen is. And, hey, what an honor to open at the National League's oldest team. The Reds are always at home opening weekend, so it's kind of a special nostalgia thing.
And then we got Wags' Washington Nationals. which they open against the Cubs, and at least you'll have that to look forward to. Should be a fun environment. What else is there to look forward to for the Nationals?
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that you saved me for last. Usually you save the best for last, but yeah, I mean, the Nats, it's a year of a new coaching staff, so I'm excited for that, seeing how some new energy comes in, changes the young guys. And the young guys, James Wood is good. Dylan Cruz it's a must bounce back year for him. And then Dalen Lyle, first full season in the majors. So I'm excited for that. Cade Cavalli, opening day starter. Happy for that. So it's a year of I only care about the young guys stepping up and maybe some prospects getting their shot when we eventually sell off everyone worth anything at the deadline.
Speaking of young, Blake Patera, the manager, I think there's only one player on the roster older than he is. So
crazy.
Seems kind of odd, but I guess why not, right?
Hey, he's an analytics guy, and our previous regime was 100% anti-analytics, so I'm good with it. It's different. It's not the same old man watching baseball, so I'm good with it.
The Fangraphs playoff odds, the Nationals have a 0.1% chance to win the division, so there is a chance.
No, there's not.
0.7% chance to make the playoffs.
Now we're talking.
So,
sneak into a wild card?
Almost 1%.
Maybe we'll buy the deadline.
Hey, crazier things have happened. Okay. We got to get out of here. Bobby, appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in from home. Philip, Isaiah, he's got his own special practice report in his notes app. Maybe he'll share that with somebody. Wags, appreciate you, man. And we'll be out of here right now. We will be back Monday at 12 noon. Everybody tune in 94.3 The Game for ECU baseball coverage all weekend long. We'll see you Monday to break it all down.